In the sultry heat of Lake Worth, Florida, a boy named Charles Joseph Whitman came into the world on June 24, 1941, a child of promise, destined, it seemed, for greatness. To the outside eye, he was the golden son, a tousled blonde with a sharp mind, an IQ of 139 at age 6, a piano prodigy, and by 12, one of the youngest Eagle Scouts in history. But behind the polished facade of this all-American boy, a storm brewed, dark and relentless, fed by a home where love twisted into terror. His father, Charles Adolphus Whitman, Jr., a self-made plumber, ruled with an iron fist, his temper a coiled snake, striking his wife, Margaret, and his 3 sons with brutal force. Young Charles bore the scars, physical and unseen, of a childhood steeped in fear, his father's tough love, a haunting specter that whispered of violence in his bones. As years passed, the boy grew into a man tall, muscular, a Marine sharpshooter with a steady hand and a fractured soul. Enrolling at the University of Texas at Austin in 1961, he met Kathleen Leisner, a gentle biology teacher, and married her in 1962. But the calm was a lie. By 1966, shadows lengthened within him. Headaches, vicious, skull-splitting torments, plagued his nights. He scrawled in journals, his handwriting jagged, desperate. "I don't really understand myself these days. I have been a victim of many unusual and irrational thoughts." He confessed to friends of striking Kathy, hating himself, fearing he'd become the monster his father was. On March 29, 1966, he sat before Dr. Maurice Heatley at the university's health center, his voice trembling. "I feel overwhelming violent impulses, thoughts of going up the tower with a rifle and shooting people." The psychiatrist listened, unmoved, scribbled notes, and sent him away with no follow-up, no alarm, leaving a ticking bomb to wander Austin's streets. Whispers of something darker lingered. Was it the abuse, the beatings that echoed from childhood, the amphetamines, dexedrine, dexamyl, he swallowed to push through stress, warping his mind? Or something sinister, growing silently within? Later, they'd find it, a pecan-sized tumor, an astrocytoma, nestled in the white matter above his amygdala, the brain's primal core of fear and rage. Did it press, twist, ignite the fury he fought to cage? Charles Whitman, once a boy of brilliance, now teetered on the edge of an abyss, his mind a battleground, his motives a chilling riddle. What drove him to the brink? The answer loomed unseen, as Austin slept, unaware of the horror creeping closer. The sun blazed over Austin, Texas, on August 1, 1966, a sultry Monday morning that shimmered with heat and promise. Students at the University of Texas strolled across the sprawling campus, their laughter mingling with the hum of summer classes, oblivious to the storm brewing 307 feet above. Charles Whitman, a 25-year-old ex-Marine with a chiseled jaw and a gaze like steel, had awakened with a purpose, dark, electric, and unstoppable. The night before, he'd unleashed hell in the quiet of his home, a prelude to the chaos to come. At 607 Jessamine Street, he'd slipped into his mother's apartment, his hands trembling with a lover's tenderness and a killer's resolve. Margaret Whitman, 44, lay still as he plunged a knife into her chest, her breath fading under his whispered apologies. Then, back home, he turned to his wife, Kathleen, 23, her soft curves nestled in sleep. The blade flashed again, 3 stabs to her heart, blood pooling like a crimson promise on the sheets. He typed a note, his fingers dancing over the keys. "I love her dearly. I cannot rationally pinpoint any specific reason for doing this." The stage was set, desire and dread entwined. By 10:30 a.m., Whitman was a man possessed, his pulse racing with a thrilling, twisted urgency. He packed a footlocker with a seductress's arsenal, a 6mm Remington bolt-action rifle, a 12-gauge shotgun, a .357 Magnum revolver, a .30 caliber carbine, guns gleaming like forbidden lovers in the morning light, ammunition, cans of Spam, a radio, and a green garden hose coiled inside, a serpent ready to strike. Dressed in khaki coveralls, he rolled his deadly cargo to the University of Texas Tower, a 27-story limestone monolith piercing the sky, its clock face, ticking like a heartbeat. He flashed a worker's ID, charm dripping from his smile, and convinced an unsuspecting guard to let him pass. The elevator hummed upward, a sultry ascent to destiny, and Whitman's eyes glinted with anticipation, excitement, curiosity, a hunger for what lay ahead. At 11:35 a.m., the tower's observation deck became his stage. Edna Townsley, a 47-year-old receptionist, greeted him with a warm smile, unaware of the shadow looming. Whitman's rifle but crashed down, a brutal kiss to her skull, and she crumpled, blood seeping across the floor. He dragged her behind a couch, a secret hidden from the world, then barred the doors with a desk, his muscles flexing with a primal thrill. Two families, tourists, innocent, curious, climbed the stairs, their chatter light and carefree. Whitman's guns blazed, a seductive burst of power, and bodies fell. Marguerite Lamport, 18, and Mark Gabauer, 16, shot dead, their kin wounded, screams echoing like a siren's call. The deck was as now, a fortress of chaos, the city below a canvas for his dark art. At 11:48 a.m., the first shot rang out, a crack that split the summer air, thrilling and terrifying. From his perch, Whitman scanned the campus, his sharpshooter's eye, honed by Marine training, picking targets with a lover's precision. Claire Wilson, 18, 8 months pregnant, walked arm in arm with her boyfriend, Thomas Ekman, 18. A bullet tore through her belly, a vicious caress, and she collapsed, blood blooming on the concrete, her unborn child lost. Thomas knelt, a hero's instinct, and another shot pierced his chest, dead. The campus erupted, students and professors diving for cover, hearts pounding with a mix of fear and fascination. Whitman fired again, his rifle a seductive extension of his will, each pull of the trigger a crescendo of power. Dr. Robert Hamilton, a professor, fell on the South Mall, a bullet through his spine. A newsboy, pedaling his bike, jerked as lead found his shoulder, his cry sharp and thrilling. By noon, the body count climbed, 10 dead, dozens wounded, blood staining the limestone walks, the air thick with panic and the electric scent of gunpowder. The city held its breath, gripped by a wild, curious terror. Who was this shadow in the tower, this phantom raining death? Students peered from dorm windows, hearts racing, drawn to the danger like moths to a flame. Whitman shifted, his movements fluid, almost graceful, as he fired north, then west, then south, bullets kissing pavement, glass, flesh. A delivery truck driver, Roy Schmidt, 29, slumped dead behind his wheel, 500 yards away, a testament to Whitman's deadly allure. The tower, once a symbol of learning, now loomed like a dark lover, its shadow stretching long and menacing. Sirens wailed, a chorus of urgency, as Austin police scrambled, their pulses quickening with the chase. Reports flooded in, 15 dead now, 31 wounded, each shot a pulse-pounding note in a symphony of chaos. Yet, amid the climax, a spark of defiance flickered. Alan Crum, a 40-year-old bookstore manager, unarmed but bold, crept toward the tower, his breath hot with adrenaline. Students whispered from hiding spots, their eyes wide, captivated by the unfolding drama. Police cars screeched to a halt, officers ducking behind trees, their guns drawn, hearts thumping with a mix of dread and daring. Whitman's fortress held strong, sandbags and vantage points shielding him, his laughter, imagined or real, drifting on the wind, a chilling taunt. The tension peaked, a sultry dance of life and death, as Austin teetered on the edge, caught in the grip of a madman's thrilling reign. The stage was set for a reckoning, the city's fate hanging in a breathless, tantalizing balance. The August 1st, 1966, Sunday burned fierce over Austin, Texas, its heat a sultry caress on a city gripped by terror. From the University of Texas Tower, Charles Whitman, a 25-year-old ex-Marine with a sharpshooter's eye and a devil's charm, held court, his rifle spitting death like a lover's whispered promise. By 12:30 p.m., the toll was staggering, 15 lives snuffed out, 31 wounded, blood pooling on the sun-scorched mall below. The air thrummed with a wild electric pulse, screams, sirens, and the sharp crack of gunfire weaving a seductive symphony of chaos. Students crouched behind cars, their hearts racing, eyes wide with a mix of fear and fascination, peering up at the limestone spire where a shadow danced, elusive and deadly. Austin was a stage, and Whitman, its dark maestro, toyed with the city's fate, his every shot a thrilling taunt. The Austin Police Department, a force untested by such madness, scrambled into action, their pulses pounding with urgency. Officer Billy Speed, a rugged 23-year-old, darted between trees on the South Mall, his boots crunching gravel, sweat beading on his brow. His radio crackled, urgent, breathless, reports of bodies falling, a pregnant woman bleeding out, a newsboy crumpled by his bike. "He's up there, untouchable," an officer hissed, eyes locked on the tower's observation deck, 307 feet high, where Whitman's silhouette flickered like a phantom lover. Chief Miles Gray, a grizzled veteran, barked orders, his voice tight with a heady mix of dread and resolve. "Get rifles, get cover, get him." But Whitman was no easy prey. His Marine training had sculpted him into a predator, cunning and untamed, his position a fortress of stone and strategy. Whitman had planned his stand with a seductress's precision. Sandbags lined the deck, a barricade kissed by his careful hands, shielding him from return fire. He'd punched holes in the drainage spouts, turning them into sniper nests, his eyes glinting through the slits, scanning the chaos below. A green garden hose snaked from his cache, a lifeline to cool his guns, their barrels hot from the dance of death. Bullets sang, a sultry melody, as he pivoted, north, south, west, each shot a caress of destruction. Roy Del Schmidt, 29, a delivery driver, slumped 500 yards away, a bullet through his chest, a testament to Whitman's lethal reach. Police fired back, pistols popping, rifles cracking, but the rounds pinged off stone, useless against his elevated throne. The city held its breath, curiosity burning. Could they touch this untouchable man? Tension soared, a feverish crescendo, as civilians joined the chase, drawn by a thrilling, reckless pull. Alan Crum, 40, a bookstore manager with a square jaw and a daring heart, gripped a borrowed rifle, his pulse racing like a drumbeat. He'd never shot a man, but the tower's allure, the mystery of the killer, tugged him forward. "I'm going up," he growled, eyes alight, sweat slick on his skin as he dashed toward the building, ducking bullets that kissed the air around him. Students, too, became players. Ramiro Martinez, an off-duty cop, 29, lean and fearless, grabbed a service revolver, his breath hot with anticipation. "He's mine," he whispered, the hunt a siren's call, pulling him through the gunfire's embrace. The tower loomed, a monolith of menace, its clock ticking like a heartbeat, daring them to climb. Whitman reveled in his evasion, a dark prince in his castle. He shifted positions, fluid and graceful, his movements a dance of defiance. Bullets rained down, a seductive storm. Officer Jerry Day, 28, crouched behind a statue, felt the heat as a round grazed his shoulder, blood seeping, his heart pounding with a mix of fear and fire. Citizens armed with hunting rifles, ranchers, shopkeepers, fired from rooftops, their shots a wild chorus, desperate to pierce the sniper's spell. A light plane buzzed overhead, pilot Jack Stevens, 42, leaning out, pistol in hand, eyes blazing with a gambler's thrill, trying to draw Whitman's fire. The sniper laughed, or so it seemed, his rifle swinging, a bullet clipping the wing, close, taunting, untamed. The climax built, a pulse-pounding rush, as the city teetered, captivated by the chase. Then, the tide turned, a sultry shift in the drama. Martinez and Crum, hearts hammering, slipped into the tower's base, the air thick with tension, shadows stretching long and eager. The elevator hummed, a slow, teasing ascent, their fingers tight on triggers, sweat dripping, the scent of gunpowder and fear a heady mix. Officer Houston McCoy, 26, a tall, broad-shouldered Texan, joined them, his shotgun gleaming, eyes sharp with resolve. They crept up the stairs, boots soft on stone, the silence a lover's whisper, broken by the distant crack of Whitman's rifle. At the 27th floor, they faced the barricaded door, desks, chairs, a killer's cunning wall. Martinez kicked it, muscles flexing, the wood splintering, a thrilling breach. They burst onto the deck, wind whipping, the city sprawling below, And there he was, Whitman, blonde hair tousled, eyes wild, a dark god in khaki, rifle raised. The hunt peaked, a breathtaking clash, curiosity and courage colliding. The pursuit's fever broke, a dramatic unraveling. Martinez fired, his revolver blazing, bullets kissing air as Whitman ducked, agile, elusive. McCoy, steady and bold, leveled his shotgun. The blast a thunderous roar, buckshot tore into Whitman's side. A crimson bloom, his body jerking, the spell shattering. He staggered, the tower's king dethroned, his reign of terror fading like a lover's sigh. The trio stood, breaths ragged, heart still racing, the city below exhaling in relief. Whitman's evasion ended, the chase resolved, but the mystery of his mind lingered, a tantalizing thread, pulling Austin into the next act of this chilling saga. August 1st, 1966, pulsed with a sultry, electric heat in Austin, Texas. The University of Texas Tower casting a shadow like a lover's daring gaze. Charles Whitman, the 25-year-old sniper, blonde and steely, had turned the campus into a stage of chaos, 15 dead, 31 wounded, blood painting the limestone walks in crimson kisses. The air thrummed with sirens, screams, and the seductive crack of his rifle, each shot a taunt, a thrilling lure drawing the city into his deadly dance. Up on the observation deck, 307 feet above, Whitman reigned, a dark prince, his sandbags and sniper nests a fortress of cunning, his eyes glinting with a wild, untamed fire. Austin held its breath, hearts racing, curiosity burning. Could this phantom be caught, or would his reign stretch on? A tantalizing riddle? The police, a band of bold hunters, closed in, their pulses pounding with a heady mix of fear and fervor. Officer Houston McCoy, 26, a towering Texan, gripped his shotgun, sweat slick on his brow, his breath hot and quick. Beside him, Ramiro Martinez, 29, an off-duty cop, eyes blazing with resolve, clutched his revolver, the weight a lover's promise. Alan Crum, 40, the bookstore manager turned warrior, joined the trio, his borrowed rifle trembling in eager hands. They'd breached the tower, the elevator's hum a sultry whisper, the stairs a teasing climb to destiny. The barricaded door, desks, chairs, Whitman's crafty wall, splintered under Martinez's kick, a thrilling crack, and they burst onto the deck, wind whipping, the city sprawling below like a captive audience, breathless and entranced. Whitman moved like a shadow, fluid and dangerous, his khaki coveralls streaked with sweat, his blonde hair tousled by the breeze, a vision of deadly allure. The air was thick, gunpowder, tension, the scent of blood, a heady cocktail that quickened pulses. Martinez spotted him, a glimpse of steel and madness, and fired, his revolver barking, bullets kissing the air, missing by inches. Whitman spun, his rifle raised, a seductive glint in his eye, and loosed a shot. Lead grazed Crum's arm, a hot sting, blood dripping, the thrill of danger igniting the chase. McCoy ducked, heart hammering, the deck a stage for a dance of life and death. Civilians below, armed with hunting rifles, fired upward, their shots a wild chorus, pinging off stone, a desperate plea to end the sniper's spell. The tension soared, a feverish crescendo. Would he slip away, this elusive killer, or fall to their daring pursuit? The climax pulsed, a breathtaking surge. Whitman darted, a panther in the shadows, his .30 caliber carbine spitting fire, a bullet whizzing past Martinez's ear, a whisper of death that fueled his fire. McCoy, steady and bold, crept closer, shotgun gleaming, eyes locked on the prey. "He's mine," he growled, voice low, a hunter's vow. Whitman turned, his face a mask of fury and fascination, rifle swinging, but McCoy was faster. His shotgun roared, a thunderous blast, buckshot tearing into Whitman's chest, a crimson bloom erupting, his body jerking like a puppet cut loose. Martinez fired again, a bullet to the head, a final, fatal kiss. Whitman staggered, his rein crumbling, blood pooling on the deck, the tower's king dethroned. The trio stood, breaths ragged, sweat and adrenaline mingling, the city below exhaling, a wave of relief, tinged with a curious ache. No confession came from Whitman's lips. His voice was silenced, his secrets locked in a mind now still. But he'd left whispers, typed and scrawled, a trail of chilling clues. In his home, police found notes, his words a haunting melody. I do not quite understand myself these days. I have been fighting violent impulses. Another, beside his wife's body. I love her. I cannot rationally pinpoint any specific reason for doing this. The night before, he'd slain his mother, Margaret, and his wife, Kathleen, their blood a prelude to the tower's carnage, his motives a tangle of rage, pain, and mystery. Officers combed the scene, hearts still racing, the air thick with questions. Why this man, this brilliant boy-turned-killer? The drama peaked, then softened, a sultry calm settling over Austin, but the allure of the unknown lingered. Then a twist, a tantalizing revelation. Doctors cut into Whitman's skull, their hands probing, and found it. A pecan-sized tumor, an astrocytoma, nestled above his amygdala, the brain's core of fear and fury. Had it pressed, twisted, sparked the chaos? Experts whispered, debates flaring. Some said yes, a biological siren seducing him to madness. Others scoffed, blaming the abuse of his childhood, the beatings by his father, the amphetamines fueling his fire. The outcome was final. Whitman dead at 1:24 p.m. 96 minutes of terror ended. But the story hung open, a teasing thread. Was it the tumor, the trauma, or a darker desire, buried deep, that drove him? The city mourned, 16 lives lost, including an unborn child. Their names etched in memory: Claire Wilson, Thomas Ekman, Robert Boyer, and more. Yet the mystery pulsed, alive and seductive. What secrets lay buried with Whitman? Did voices whisper in his mind, urging him on? Or was this a dance of his own design? The tower stood silent, its shadow long, a witness to a day of blood and bravery. Austin wondered, heart still thumping, curiosity aflame. Could such horror strike again? The tale doesn't end here. Dear listener, the riddle unfurls still. Dive deeper, chase the shadows, and join me on my channel for the next chapter, where whispers of madness and motives beckon, a thrilling saga yet to unfold.